Last year, we went through some of the most horrifically gruesome 10 horror movies that you needed to watch last year. But we are back with more horrific, gory, spooky and horrible horror movies that you need to check out this Halloween. Coming in at number 10, we start off on the road. We're starting off with Roadkill / Joyride.
What room?
Room 17, midnight. You got that, baby?
I got it.
I can't wait.
Released in 2001, Joyride follows a group of friends which decide to play a horrible prank on a truck driver, which doesn't end well, as you can imagine. This movie doesn't rely on jump scares. This movie doesn't rely on anything that you would associate with modern horror. This relies on suspense. This relies on the drama of the truck driver finally catching up with this group and getting his revenge. The eeriness brought by Ted Levin, the performance of Rusty Nail. This is the perfection of where this movie comes into the horror category. This is why I'm suggesting this to you now to go and watch. Because of that eeriness, because of that unknown, because of the watching element that reminds me of early Alfred Hitchcock. This is what you need to watch this Halloween. Coming at number 9. Time to take that spooky notch up where we look at the Halloween remake, 2007. Released in 2007, this Rob Zombie movie is actually surprisingly quite underrated. We see in this Halloween movie more of a backstory of how Michael Myers became Michael Myers. We see more psychotic, we see more crazy, we see how this normal kid turned into the twisted individual that we see in the Halloween films. This is really what a remake should do. And it adds that sort of big horror movie killer, and it represents that in a massive way. This doesn't beat what the original one did, but it adds something that the original one didn't have. The psychoticness, the almost how that evil switch just flipped. And when you watch it, you'll understand why I'm suggesting this movie needs to be watched this Halloween. I'm not saying don't watch the original Halloween, but why don't you check out Rob Zombies, because it might just shock you. Coming in at number 8, you can't have Halloween without vampires from Dusk Till Dawn. Released in 1996, this vampire-enthralled movie mixes comedy, mixes horror, mixes vampire. This doesn't feel like a normal vampire movie. It comes out of nowhere. It feels like a movie of two halves, but when you get to that vampire bit, ooh, it is gruesome, it is gory, it is everything that you want from a vampire killing movie. It's funny whilst also being sickening at the same time. This blend comes together, and you know Quentin Tarantino is a massive part of the reason why this film just gels like it does. In at number 7, you can't speak about Halloween and horror without thinking of graveyards and gravestones. Let's head to Pet Sematary.
I'm gonna sit over yonder now to smoke. I'd help you, but you gotta do it yourself. Each buries his own.
Released in 1989, this horrific tale of Stephen King's is told out on the main screen, which is creepy, edgy, and horrific of the idea of not letting go of your loved ones, instead burying them in an ancient burial ground for them to come alive again and be walking zombies which are actually going to kill you. It has everything that the old horror movies have. And it didn't rely on jump scares. It relied on the actual creepiness of this movie. And probably for some, the nostalgia of never wanting to see that film ever again because of the scariness this movie gives off. This is a Stephen King movie told well on the big screen. And if you ain't seen Pet Sematary, maybe you ought to watch this Halloween. But don't get too scared, because there's more on the list. Coming in at number 6, we're going into the killings now, the real killings that impacted lives from hell. Released in 2001, starring Johnny Depp. This one goes through those horrific killings of the 18th century that is still spoke about to this day because they never got solved. The Jack the Ripper murders. And it shows the detective looking at the letters, going through the case. What this story makes it look like he's even bigger, scarier, and even more gruesome than he does in the folklore. showing the true life of living in London around those times, how rough it was, how scary it was, and how this one man put the fear in the streets of London, even if it was just for a short time and for 5 killings. But honestly, after watching this one, you might not want to step outside of your front door. Time to mix it up a little bit. As we head into number 5, this is more of a cannibalistic film. This is Silence of the Lambs.
And sometimes you wear out lad at home. But not today.
The early 90s brought in one ultra horror classic. This one messes your mind up big time, as you are faced with a killer having to help the FBI, a sick, deranged killer, who is also a very smart individual, to help track down a guy called Buffalo Bill, which is even more sickening, even more gruesome, even more horrific than anybody could have imagined. This is psychological, this is creepy, and trust me now, jump scares aren't needed for this kind of film. It tells you something when you need to go to a killer to ask for help. This is everything that you want in a horror movie, to make your stomach turn, and it does just that. So if you've got the guts for it, then give it a watch. Before we jump back into this video, guys, please do us a massive favour and smash that subscribe button, because you do not want to miss a thing this week, next week, and the week after, because we've got tons and tons of content planned for you guys, and you can do us a massive favour by smashing that subscribe button, joining the community, getting updates to all the latest videos from the YouTube shorts to the actual videos. It is well worth it, completely free, and you will not regret it. Coming in at number 4, we take a look at the ghostly activities around Halloween as well. We look at The Conjuring.
Wanna play hide and clap?
In the early 10s, they were known for jump scares, they were known for evilness in horror movies. Trust me now, this has all of that. But it's not the reason why this movie's creepy. The reason why this movie's creepy is because it's based on a true story. A real life family had to go through these experiences. And Ed and Lorraine Warren were investigating these real life experiences. It does rely on a little bit of jump scares to get you through. But tell you what, it does a damn good job. And it leaves you shaking in your wits. And one of those movies that, honestly, defines a decade of horror. If you ain't seen The Conjuring, you need to go and give that a watch. Going back to the monsters, we're heading to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. This 1974 classic is the epitome of real horror. This feels like you're watching something that you almost shouldn't be watching. It feels like I'm watching somebody getting brutalized. This doesn't feel like a film. This feels bigger, larger than life. This horror movie villain doesn't feel like it's a folklore. This feels real. This feels like you're with those people, following them on this journey. And for such a low budget film, Tobe Hooper creates such a masterpiece that it still gets talked about to this day. And no current horror movie creates the amount of fear this film does. This is literally stomach churning. This is literally the epitome of disturbing. The epitome of what you want to see in a horror film, but you sort of don't at the same time because it feels that real. And if you're into that sort of horror, then you need to watch this movie this Halloween. You can't have Halloween without zombies 28 days later. Released in the early thousands, this zombie movie is like no other. These monsters are raging and are quicker and are faster than your average zombies out of The Walking Dead, and are completely different to any in the likes of Zombieland and whatever. This is more like Days Gone on steroids kind of zombies. It's frightening, it's eerie, it's Danny Boyle's, one of Danny Boyle's best and greatest films. It's scary, it's eerie. These raging monsters are literally the highlight of the film. And it literally shows by the end of the film who are actually the real bad guys. Is it humans or is it the zombies? It's a great film, but have you got the stomach to watch this gruesomely great zombie movie? Coming in at number 1, Child's Play. Released in the late 80s, this particular Chucky movie is unbelievable. Literally about a good guy doll which is given to a young kid called Andy Barclay. Soon realises this isn't just any doll, this is a killer doll taken over by the soul of Charles Lee Ray, in which is a famous serial killer, and now he's killing people left, right and centre, and he's trying to find a new vessel to go into, also known as Andy Barclay. This is eerily creepy. It is good because it's the first one in the franchise, so it hasn't got too comedic by this point. This is literally a scary movie of the 80s. It doesn't rely on jump scares and more relies upon the actual creepiness of a doll moving around left, right and centre. Brad Dourif's awesome voiceover for this iconic character just makes this even better. It is evil. It is everything that you want to see in a horror movie. So if you haven't done so already, you need to check this out this Halloween. So that is my list, folks. Hopefully I didn't scare you too much. And hopefully you go check out at least one of these off this 10. Hopefully there's one on there that you've never seen before, and hopefully it will scare you into your wits this Halloween. But do let us know down in the comments down below what Halloween movies you will be watching this Halloween. Is any in particular that you'd want to suggest to the rest of the viewers? Comment down below. And if you haven't yet seen our first 10 horror movies that you need to watch this Halloween, then I want you guys to do us a favour, hit that subscribe, hit that like button, and check this video out